The world needs startups because humans are evolving. Our world is evolving.
We want to help startups succeed in their business goals. They just have to focus on delivering their best work possible, and we take care of everything else.
We share a kinship with other ecosystem builders. We in a lot of hard work, whether it be helping companies start or connecting them to opportunities or relationships.
We're not doing this because we think we're going to make a lot of money. We're doing it because we think we should give opportunity to people regardless of where they come from.
There's a huge emotional impact on the startups that we are fortunate enough to serve, and that really revolves around them oftentimes being seen for the very first time.
We don't view ourselves as investors who just invest in entrepreneurs. We view ourselves as evangelists, supporters, cheerleaders.
Every startup that comes through our door, we'll ask them, where's your market? Where do you want to go? What we really want to hear is, we want to impact the world.
Startup ecosystem builders raise a platform for us as a company to be entrepreneurial,
solve problems,
drive growth,
literally change the world.
The success of our business is really a testament to the support that we've been provided. And I think when you look at the collective effort of all of our parts, like, who knows what we can make this.
I think as a startup, you really need community. You need people to understand your journey and to share experiences and bounce ideas back and forth. And 92 Express is a great melting pot. People from various backgrounds and entrepreneurship come together and share that experiences, which is invaluable.
92 Express, they do have a lot of network with all the factories, Kickstarters, and maybe incubator as well. So I think it's a very good network for the whole picture.
When we are actually in visiting the different locations, we have really good idea and experience and exchange, and also have an opportunity to ask questions with the manufacturer about the particular challenges, the industry, market practices and norms, and etc.
It was very nice to see a program that really focuses on hardware and helping us, try to connect with people and also connect with factories to just understand better the industry, but also potentially help us create and make our concepts into a reality.
It's a very fruitful journey from a networking, sharing perspective, as well as getting to know some of the technical details and the industry experience.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Cocoon Pitch. I'm Hannah, and we're thrilled to have you here at our live pitch event.
大家好，我係 Mancy，歡迎大家參加我哋第97次嘅創業擂台。
Cocoon Pitch is a platform for startups to showcase their ideas, attract potential investment, business partners, and gain publicity. We welcome all global founders to apply to our pitch. Our next round pitch will be on August 19th and September 23rd. So if you would like to pitch or continue hearing more innovative and disruptive ideas, be sure to mark it down on your calendars.
我哋 Cocoon Pitch 係一個平台，讓創業家展示佢哋嘅創業點子，從而獲得投資嘅機會，尋找合作伙伴同埋增加曝光率。我哋歡迎世界各地嘅創業家參加我哋嘅 Cocoon Pitch。下一次嘅創業擂台會係8月19號去到同埋9月23號，大家千祈唔好錯過啦。
Before we begin our pitches, let's introduce our investor panel. Please welcome Ms. Erica Ma and Mr. Roland Yao, Managing Partner of Cocoon Ignite Ventures.
歡迎晒今日嘅評判。
So each pitch team will have 5 minutes to pitch, followed by 5 minutes Q&A from the investor panel. At the final minute of the presentation, we will remind the presenter. When the time is up, we'll move on to the Q&A session.
每個隊伍可以有5分鐘嘅匯報時間，然後有5分鐘嘅問答環節。我哋會喺最後1分鐘提示隊伍。
Hey Nancy, I know that besides pitching, Cocoon has other online events and resources. Can you tell us what they are?
好啊，如果你都想知道我哋 community 嘅內容，例如 judges 嘅 insider tips， 又或者過往 pitch 嘅 pitching 內容咧，或者我哋一啲 startup tutorials， 你可以 subscribe 我哋嘅 YouTube channel HK Cocoon。當然啦，就撳埋個鐘仔，咁當我哋出新片嘅時候咧，你就第一時間知道啦。
Be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel at HK Cocoon. On there, you will find Cocoon Pitch highlights, judges' insiders tips, startup tutorials, and founder stories. Subscribe and click the bell so that you can be the first to know whenever there's new content.
真係好正咁啊！我都要快啲 subscribe 先啦。事不宜遲，我哋馬上邀請第一個嘅隊伍 Spokesperson， 佢哋係一個明星網紅相互互動任務挑戰嘅短視頻平台，而佢哋咧會用廣東話去回報嘅。
Our first team spokesperson is a new multimedia platform that integrates S-commerce and e-commerce and achieves a low-cost but high-efficiency publicity effect. Let's pass the time to Hinson and the team. Also, Hinson, you need to unmute yourself and share your screen. Yes, we can hear you now. You can share your screen. Great. Okay, now the time is yours.
Hello， 大家好，咁我係CEO 啦。咁今日咧，我想介紹我全新推出
咁可能停一停，因為咧你有個背景嘅 music 喎，係咪本身係個 PowerPoint 有定係點樣㗎？
係應該 PowerPoint。如果你哋唔介意，我哋就用咁嘅方式去睇啦。
好。
又可以即係，因為頭先完全聽唔到，可能 Hinson 要埋啲先至聽到。我哋可以再嚟由頭再嚟過。
好，咁我哋由頭嚟過咯喎，
好
，3、2、1，係大家好啦，咁我係 Hinson 啦，子陽啦，我就係呢個 Spokesperson 嘅創辦人同埋 CEO 啦。咁我左手邊咧就係CFO 啦 Vika 同埋COO 嘅 Elisa。咁今日咧，我哋嚟介紹我哋嘅 Spokesperson 呢個短視頻平台。其實我哋咧係針對於呢個 O2O 市場 online 同 offline， 針對於呢一個SME 呢個嘅中小企，幫我哋做一個宣傳對接嘅任務獎賞嘅短視頻平台。咁簡單啲嚟講咧，因為呢段時間咧疫情底下咧，我哋見到市場上有好多中小企啦，咁佢哋其實缺乏咗好多嘅宣傳渠道，成本亦都好高啦。如果你哋去揾翻一啲傳統媒體，譬如電視啦或者報紙啦，咁其實佢哋係冇辦法可以俾到一個好高嘅費用。咁所以我哋而家呢段時間就針對於呢個中小企，用呢一個短視頻嘅形式。咁其實我哋個 platform 咧已經推出咗㗎啦，用一個短視頻，咁其實可以唔同嘅 KOL 啦。咁都可以 share 佢哋嘅短視頻喺我哋嘅 platform 裏邊，咁可以去將佢哋嘅產品啊或者 service 啊都可以share， 用一個短視頻最低成本高效益可以 share 俾全球唔同嘅人知道佢哋嘅 service， 咁啊通過我哋嘅 Spokesperson 嘅平台去推出市場。
咁我哋再講多少少啦。咁我哋其實係結合咗3樣嘢嘅。我哋係一個內容創作啦、宣傳啦，同埋一個我哋叫做興趣電商嘅一個生態圈。去到最後，我哋係想將因為其實好多網紅啦、好多商戶，佢哋係缺乏啲曝光嘅機會，而其實好多時候佢哋係一啲商業變現嘅機會，佢哋應該係可以獲得更多嘅。咁點樣去做到咧？我哋就希望可以解決呢個問題，大家係3方共贏嘅。喺我哋呢個生態圈入邊，當你去獲得你嘅曝光啦，你個商戶又好，你係網紅嘅身份又好，你獲得曝光之後，你就可以將你嘅個人嘅價值變現成為一個商業嘅價值，咁就會切合埋我哋平台上邊嘅一個叫做電商嘅模式啦。
冇錯，而家因為係5G 時代啦，大部分人類用手機嘅時間越多啦，咁所以我哋見到其實呢個市場越大嘅，咁而香港我哋睇到嘅市場就係慢慢，但係我哋係將佢哋嘅碎片化嘅時間拱晒落個手機，從呢個見到個視頻，即係你會有個興趣睇完條片，進行咧創作，自己個人創作之後，就會帶翻我哋嘅 e-commerce 嘅 shop 裏邊咧，我哋用一個低成本、高宣傳效益，或者攞到啲比較平嘅貨，之後喺一個生態圈度咧進行銷售嘅。
好啊，咁我再補充少少啦。咁其實而家即係因為疫情啦，咁其實對於網上邊對於視頻嘅需求其實係大咗好多，尤其是短視頻嘅需求係長視頻嘅2倍。咁其實香港每年嘅輸出咧喺廣告上面係投放咗好多錢嘅。咁究竟中小企業喺入邊佢可以去為佢哋去爭取幾多咧？咁其實好多時候就係好多中小企業欠缺一啲機會。咁我哋呢個平台其實已經產生咗好多唔同嘅機會。咁我哋而家已經超過咗 60間商戶啦，係啦，咁我哋已經超過咗200位嘅 KOL 啦、明星喺我哋嘅平台，我哋亦都已經突破咗短4個月，我哋已經突破咗7000嘅用戶啦。咁我哋嘅用戶咧就遍佈喺香港啦，主要嘅香港就有55%，咁其餘嘅剩翻就分佈喺馬來西亞啦、印尼啦，咁甚至乎係內地啦、美國啦、越南亦都有我哋嘅用戶嘅。
係啦，冇錯，所以喺呢段時間咧，證實到其實我哋嘅平台喺個市場嘅需求咧係絕對有。我哋亦都單套咧入咗好多餐廳啦，而家有差唔多超過60間餐廳已經係用緊我哋 service 啦。咁佢哋係反映翻佢話：哎呀，你哋嘅平台出現實在太好啦，幫我哋中小企業宣傳。咁而我哋服務咧點為之 O2O 咧係一站式嘅，由前期幫我哋拍片啦。到佢哋想喺 digital marketing 宣傳啦，可能擺落我哋平台 spokesperson 或者 Facebook、IG 啦 ，digital marketing 到最後佢哋可以擺多個平台，可能係 e-commerce 去結算，可能佢哋嘅 service 想擺落我哋嘅或者產品喺我哋嘅 e-commerce 嗰度結算，我哋都可以做到嘅。好，呢啲就繼續。
好啦，咁我哋再講多少少嗱。大家可以睇睇呢啲係我哋過往合作過嘅一啲商戶啦，咁其中呢個其實我哋就已經突顯到大家唔同地域上，但係仍然可以透過我哋嘅平台去變現嘅。咁因為呢個就係一個馬來西亞嘅一個品牌，咁我哋亦都對接咗我哋平台嘅一個明星啦，咁楊思琪係啦，就已經結合咗我哋 O2O 嘅。咁不如 Hanson 再講多少少我哋之後嘅 development 係會想點樣？係啦，
而家因為我哋就推出市場大概係4個月到啦，咁所以我哋希望咧可以做到更擴充我哋嘅融資啦，同埋我哋團隊啦，所以我哋希望可以algorithm 我哋可以 develop 啦，我哋另外我哋一啲e-commerce 嘅嘢亦都係 develop 啦，所以希望有啲唔同嘅 investor 可以對我哋有興趣嘅。冇錯。係啦，但係我哋嘅 target 都係 global 嘅，即係東南亞、大灣區同埋香港市場係咯。
好，唔該晒 Hanson 同你嘅團隊。我哋而家交個時間俾我哋嘅 investor panel 啦。
OK。
你聽唔到 ，sorry。
好啊，大家好啊。
大家好。
OK。
你好。
好開心有得認識到你呢一間公司。咁我想了解多少少你而家譬如啲短視頻咧喺咩平台度發放出嚟啊？
喺我哋自己個 Apps 裏邊啊。而家全球
咁你嘅 app 叫咩名啊
？Spokesperson。
我哋嘅 app 就叫做 Spokesperson。OK， 好啊。咁我想關心下，譬如 Spokesperson 呢個 app 咧，係一個俾 customer 嘅 app 喎，即係俾我買嘢嗰位用戶去認知噶嘛，係咪？
你講。
我哋係一個集合 B2B 同埋 B2C 同埋 C2C 嘅一個平台啦。咁其實我哋嘅平台上面有幾個用戶嘅。咁第一就係商戶啦。咁第二當然係一個普通嘅用戶、明星同埋我哋嘅一個叫做 KOL 啦。咁呢4個等級嘅。
係啦，不如我 specific 咁講下啦。咁商戶咧，其實佢嘅角色咧就想發啲任務或者獎賞，令到啲 KOL 全民去代言。咁我哋普通用戶即係普通人入去，其實冇辦法可以接觸代言呢樣。點解會變到 spokesperson 咧？其實我哋分咗4個 level 嘅，普通用戶啦，跟住再升嘅 level 咧有啲影響力有粉絲就 KOL 啦，再升一個 level 叫 KOS， 即係佢係有影響力同埋銷售能力。咁再升多一個最專業嘅 level 嘅 spokesperson 就係我哋平台啦，即係可以由普通人可以變成一代言人，直頭有銷售能力，有產生價值去影響住去銷售成個網絡世界，成個生態圈就係我哋咁樣去形成。
呢個明白啦。OK good。咁即係我做一個B2C 嘅 customer 啦，我可以喺你平台度睇到啲 KOL 或者 KOS 甚至乎明星喺呢一度發放一啲佢哋嘅資訊啊，或者佢嘅故事。然後我亦都同時間可以喺呢個平台度睇完之後買嘢嘅，係咪可以咁樣理解咧？係啦，咁因為我喺傳統媒體10年咧，睇到一個好大嘅需求就係明星或者 KOL， 根本上佢係冇辦法對接商戶，咁所以我哋喺我哋 Apps 裏邊咧，有大量唔同嘅商戶，佢哋發放一啲任務、優惠、獎賞，咁變咗嗰啲 KOL 就可以搶佢啲任務獎賞兌現翻到現金，咁變咗我哋係好似一個 Uber 咁打破咗傳統，就係我哋一個 platform 對接商戶同普通用戶嘅 KOL 明星嘅 platform， 咁佢哋可以互動去做所有嘅代言嘅嘢咯。明白。OK， 好啊。咁譬如馬來西亞同埋頭先你講香港同埋馬來西亞同埋印尼啊，你點樣接觸到馬來西亞、印尼係啦嘅或者國內嘅用戶嘅咧？
Lisa 你講。
咁我哋其實喺呢4個月，我哋正式推出咧就2月嘅時候，咁2月份我哋就搞咗個比較大型嘅發佈會啦。咁啊好多謝唔同嘅媒體報導咗我哋。咁所以我哋喺線上同線下分別，我哋係做咗好多唔同嘅廣告啦，包括咗Google 嘅 UAC campaign 啦。咁我哋其實做呢個廣告，我哋都做好多優惠。咁咧係變相吸納咗好多唔同世界各地 global 嘅用戶嘅。咁其實我哋最突出嘅點咧，其實由5月到6月，因為我哋網上重點推出咗一個活動，就係宣傳我哋。大家如果進入咗我哋咧，我哋會派發一個我哋入邊嘅代言幣。咁你可以將呢啲代言幣咧去發放任務俾你中意嘅一啲你喺平台上見到嘅 KOL 或者係一啲普通用戶。咁變咗馬來西亞嘅用戶就好活躍，係啦，好熱情，好活躍。咁佢哋亦都有分享佢哋嘅生活啦，有跳舞啦，亦都介紹佢哋當地嘅特色。
係啊，所以我哋今次呢短短呢幾個月好得意。我哋一開始諗住係做好香港市場，但係唔覺意咧打開咗成個東南亞市場，印尼啊、馬來西亞好多用戶，佢哋互動都好熱情咯，叫佢哋發任務俾佢哋啊，代言幣啊，咁佢哋真係跳舞唱歌啊，咁啊都真係幾好玩嘅喺我哋平台裏邊。
明白。Roland 有冇問題想問？
有，我都想跟大家學下嘢啫。其實我好奇想問咧，而家今時今日你譬如話頭先你講過有 IG 啦，有 Facebook， 有其他咁嘅所謂平台，即係理念上都係即係啲明星或者 KOL 可以喺上邊擺 content。咁而家呢啲咁嘅公司都慢慢做緊佢自己嘅 shop。咁你覺得佢呢啲係你個 competition 啦，定係即係你係會配合佢呢個咁嘅 ecosystem 啦？即係你會點睇而家現有世界嘅 IG 啊、Facebook 啊、抖音啊？係，呢個問題問得非常好，因為好多人問我㗎啦。咁其實咧，我哋個分別，譬如 Facebook、IG 或者小紅書，我哋嘅分別咧就係我哋互動式嘅，即係點樣咧？你可以發任務，亦都可以接受任務。即係如果大家可以開我哋 Apps 睇咧，直頭你係收到幾多任務，即係我哋係以個 mission 同埋個獎賞去互動嘅。咁你 IG、Facebook 係未做到呢樣嘢啦。另一樣嘢，我哋核心嘅價值、競爭價值咧，就係我哋有一個成個製作團隊、宣傳團隊，真係貼地去幫一啲 SME 去做服務嘅。咁呢個亦都係我哋 online 同 offline。即係呢樣嘢，我相信可能 Facebook 同 IG、小紅書等佢哋淨係用 sharing 或者一啲 content， 但係我哋係針對佢哋嘅服務而去做嘅一個公司咯。即係我哋提供 service。online to offline， 係。
Thank you。
Thank you。大家。
我哋見到咧係我哋嘅 audience 都有啲問題嘅喎。咁條問題咧就係英文啦，佢就話 How do you drive consumer traffic to your app? As without customer, the value of the spokesperson to the merchants will be low, as not much sales can be generated from your platform。咁就請用最後30秒去回答，你可以用中文啦或者英文去答嘅。
即係如果我哋冇咗啲用戶，即係話我哋淨係即係 rely on 啲用戶嘅時候，如果冇咗用戶，我哋平台就會失去咗價值。咁我哋點樣去 drive 嗰啲 traffic 翻嚟？
其實我哋個 traffic 而家都係不停咁樣去做緊即係 digital marketing 同推廣。咁其實我哋咧，其實而家focus 好多時間咧係 to B 嘅，有 to B 同 to C 嘅同時咧，因為我哋見到香港嘅中小企實在太需要類似我哋咁嘅平台出現，所以我哋係唔擔心冇 traffic 咯，而嗰個用戶係慢慢都係飆升緊嘅，即係睇到嗰個 trend， 我哋而家係需求係我哋嘅存在價值係越嚟越做得好，即係我哋都感恩咯，就覺得係越嚟越好咯，係。
好，唔該晒 Hanson， 唔該晒。咁我哋咧下一隊隊伍咧，係啦，我哋下一隊隊伍咧就係 iCargo Pacific， 佢哋係一個技術平台，整合咗各種貨運公司為中小企業咧提供最實惠嘅物流解決方案。
Our next team is iCargo Pacific. They're a tech platform that integrates various cargo companies and provides the most affordable logistics solution for small and medium businesses. Please welcome Justin.
Good day, everyone. I'm gonna share my screen. Hold on. Hello. Hello.
Okay, you may start now.
Yes. Good day, everyone. First of all, I'm very grateful for Cocoon Pitch for making this possible and Miss Mansi Ho for guiding me. And to our dear guests, investors, and business partners, are you ready to change the world with me? I am a businessman that import and sell hospital bed in the Philippines. However, when I have a customer from the other island, they would inquire how much and how to ship the hospital bed. As we can see, the hospital bed is huge. Hence, the most notable courier cannot accommodate and ship this item because they focus on small parcels. And when I search for a logistic cargo partner, it would take days for them to reply a quotation. It's very time consuming, and when they gave quotation after a few days, I lost my customer already. As we can see in this picture, it's not only hospital bed. We have various product range from medium to large shipments that are very utilized by the consumers. The biggest problem as a small and medium businessman is how can I deliver this? There's too many options to choose from. It takes time to choose what cargo from, and how will I know the most affordable cargo? Today is a day I'm very looking forward for. Today is the innovation that will revolutionize the business of movement. I welcome you to iCargo Pacific. iCargo Pacific will help you choose the best cargo option in just one click. Our value proposition, iCargo integrates various cargo companies, provide instant price quotation, and ensure quality cargo deliveries. The product service, in just easy taps, you can find the most affordable and efficient cargo option. Now, I will demonstrate to you how iCargo Pacific will work. So basically here, iCargo, it's available in you can find it in your website. So you will just click the get quotation. Okay. And as a businessman, I will just measure my cargo and input all the details here. I will just input it, and within just one second, you can find the most affordable cargo option for your business needs. We have developed a back-end and tracking system for our operations to determine tracking shipments for our logistic partners and value customers. The traction. The growth of iCargo can be identified by the huge consumer demand. When iCargo trial website, it crashes overnight due to the influx of inquiries of consumers. We increased the capacity from 5,000 to 20,000 visitors in just a span of 1 month. We believe in 2022, we will be delivered to 1 million consumers. Our primary target market, small and medium businesses. Our secondary target market, business to business and business to consumer and e-commerce. The size of the market. iCargo industry in the Southeast Asia in 2019 reached up to $59 billion. And the iCargo ASEAN serviceable market is $8 billion. I believe in the growth of Southeast Asia region, and together with Cocoon Pitch, we can scale it up and provide solution for small and medium businessmen. As we can see, this is our competitor quadrant. We have our competitors, Easy Parcel, that focus on small parcel only. And we have medium to large parcel like FedEx, UPX, and Lalamove. However, they are very slow when giving a quotation to provide to our customer. And where is iCargo? iCargo integrates all cargo company and provide various system that can efficient and affordable for every small and medium businesses. Our investment, 5% equity, iCargo will invest in hiring people, improve product service, and value strategic partnership. iCargo business revenue model. iCargo take 10% commission on each transaction. iCargo provides optional insurance plan for our small and medium businesses. And imagine 10 million iCargo deliveries, and we will take $20 of each transaction. In 2023 to 2024, we can reach up to $200 million in revenue. Our team, I'm a former chief logistics strategist in Kimpresa Motors, and Jamila is our programming and design, and our chief financial officer is Edward Tan. We believe today Asia, tomorrow the world. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin. Let's pass the time to our investor panel.
Hi, Justin. Awesome.
Hello.
Thank you for your pitch. And I really like hearing about your pain point about transporting hospital beds and then coming up with iCargo. I'm curious, have you tested the model, and how has there been feedback about 10% commission? Has there been feedback about the size of the parcel and also your current pricing models?
Thank you for that wonderful question, Ms. Erica Ma. And I'm very grateful I'm talking with you. You're a legend in the startup community. Thank you. But however, we are a startup only. So we trial launch our website. And when we trial launch it, there's an influx of demand. And that's why I'm assuring you there's a huge demand on it. And I have a vision that with Cocoon Pitch, we can scale it up and provide the most affordable cargo.
Got it. Tell me more about the influx of demand. So people are lining up for, what are they lining up for?
Actually, because I tried to post it on my social media and share it. And I don't know why do people share my post, and they immediately got into the website and trying to get a quotation. However, it's only trial. We're just trying it if there's a demand. And surprisingly, there is.
Got it. I'm going to turn it over to Roland.
Great. Thank you, Justin. I like your energy. Great pitch. Just to align myself, this is what they call a 3PL business, right? Third-party logistics, where you help basically consolidate. So we've had experience looking at this space. It's certainly needed, but obviously it's devil in the details. So when you talk about the opportunity, just now you mentioned shipping between islands and Philippines. Would that be the main focus? Because 3PL does exist generally, but of course it kind of is in each individual market. So Hong Kong has a player, Singapore has a player. So is it that in the Philippines there is no 3PL right now? And,
Yes,
and
there-
that's the kind of gap you're filling?
Yes. Thank you for that question, Mr. Ronald Diao. Yes, it is. I'm focusing right now in the Philippines, but my team is very small. That's why I'm looking for a partner and Cocoon Pitch to help me hire the best people so we can saturate it and probably saturate Southeast Asia region and in Hong Kong probably soon.
And when you talk about going into markets, is a strategy, in order to saturate the market or grow, is what's the focus? Whether by SMEs, so by client, or by particular type of size of parcel, where do you want to really focus on in the beginning to really start growing from there?
As a businessman who always encounter this problem, I want to create a solution. As a small and medium businessman, I'm focusing, like me, that encounter this problem. So I'm focusing on the consumer-centric that wants to ship out their product. Imagine a table that they want to bring to another island. However, are you familiar with Lalamove?
Yes.
Here in the Philippines, they utilize it and Transportify. However, there's no cargo that can help you find instant price quotation. That's all.
And I have two more questions. When about the instant price quotation, which obviously is a very big value, what's the difference? So without using your platform versus me going out and searching it on the search engine, how much is the difference we're talking about on average through your platform?
Okay, the average that we can give is discount is 10%. However, the value proposition of iCargo is not only about affordability, but the service. Because we help, imagine you're a businessman and you book a cargo to another cargo company and there is a problem. So you, a businessman, will contact them. However, iCargo will be the middle that will help you ease that stress. Okay, thank you.
I see. Actually, my final is not really a question, it's more of a comment. Given how you identified that certainly large packages, so it's quite a specific category. We looked at other companies dealing with specifically large packages. I agree it's a very different logistical problem than small e-commerce packets. So since you already have the experience in hospital beds, and I saw you have pianos and tables and furniture and all that, that might be an interesting area to see where you can optimize. So we talked about earlier about where do you want your niche to be? It could be of a certain size, and say your job is to basically fill out cargo containers. So that is a business as opposed to individual small packets, which might be what Lalamove is stronger at, for example.
I agree on that. How can I ask you a question, Ms. Ronald? What's your advice for a startup like me?
Find a customer, find a client. As Erica said, learn. Is your pricing right? Is your value proposition right? Find someone that wants to work with you and go from there.
Thank you. Thank you. I learned so much. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Justin. 喺我哋咧去下一個隊伍之前咧 ，Hannah 我都想問下你喎。如果我哋在座嘅觀眾或者投資者想同我哋嘅隊伍有深入嘅討論，佢哋可以點做咧？
That's a great question. They should join our Cocoon network or contact us directly if they would like to connect with any of our pitch teams. This is a free online platform where you'll be able to expand your professional network, find more innovators and pioneers, and maybe even find a suitable team to invest in. You should see the link in the chat room right now. So you can click the link and register an account for free.
哇，真係好正咁喎！咁我都要快啲 sign up 啦。下一個隊伍咧係 OpenCBS， 佢哋正係開發緊一個 SaaS 嘅解決方案，將所有類型嘅金融機構嘅銀行技術變得簡單、容易負擔，同埋業務咧可以持續擴展嘅。
OpenCBS is developing a SaaS solutions, making banking technology simple, affordable, and scalable for all types of financial institutions. Let's pass the time to Alexis.
Yes, hello. I hope you can hear me well. So good morning, everyone, and thank you for giving us this chance. So I'm the co-founder and CEO of OpenCBS. Let me explain a little bit how we came to the company. So I had the chance a few years ago to set up a microfinance institution in Afghanistan. So our mission was to serve the less privileged by giving them access to basic financial services. And in Afghanistan, it was key because 85% of people are unbanked. And we were looking for a software to run our operations. At that time, we were using Excel, but we were growing, so it was not working. And everything we could find was too expensive for us, too complex, and also restrictive, that it was not very adaptive to the needs of employees and the needs of clients. So this is how we had the idea to launch OpenCBS and to develop systems that would be agile enough to serve customers in the way they want. So our first solution is a cloud-based core banking system, which is really built around the needs of people and makes banking simple for all types of financial institutions. With OpenCBS, you could, for instance, launch a new product in minutes, or if you have a change of regulation, you could also apply new KYC fields to your whole system immediately. And also you get a 360-degree view of your clients, client information, balances, products, everything in one single place. But also we've realized that some institutions cannot change their core banking system. It's a bit like the engine of a bank. So you don't change it unless it's really kind of broken. And for those, we have developed some solutions that can digitize key processes. For instance, here, customer onboarding, the tablet application, loan appraisal at client location. And of course, you can, using those solutions, reduce the loan approval time from a few days or a few hours to just a few minutes. So from a client perspective, what do we offer? So of course, for financial institutions, we allow them to bring down their costs, but not only. All the managers get real-time business intelligence by using our solutions. The customer-facing staff can sell more easily, and ultimately clients are happier. From the IT perspective, it's also very attractive because our solutions are SaaS, so you can go live within weeks, and everything is based on open APIs, so you can easily connect to third-party solutions. But once we have developed solutions for microfinance, which is a very high volume industry operating in sometimes challenging environments, we realized that with kind of reasonable adaptations, we could also adapt our products to more markets. So beyond the microfinance market, where we are going now is also to the fintech market, not the whole fintech, but for instance, fintech lenders. We need a very simple solutions to run online lending, or mobile wallet companies, or even like smaller banks in developing countries that are fairly simple operations. And we've already signed up clients in Thailand, digital lender, for instance, and also smaller banks like in Uzbekistan in Central Asia using our products. So that's why also we are now trying to expand and raise investment. If you look at the market for microfinance is a kind of nice niche market, 200 million per year in terms of IT expenditures. If you look at the fintech, it's 2 billion already, growing 50% per year. And the banking market is even larger, but of course we target a smaller portion of it. And more importantly, this market is switching right now to SaaS. So of course, it's going to be even better for us in the coming years. It's also interesting to see that some of our competitors have been so successful, like Bamboo, for instance, that they are right now neglecting one part of the market where we can actually go to. If we look at where we are today, so we have really proven our business model. We have 15 live clients already impacting the lives of 400,000 entrepreneurs. We have generated $800,000 of revenues to date. And as you can see, there is a real demand for our products, especially in developing countries, because our clients are everywhere in the world. We have a very simple business model. We are a B2B, so we are selling to financial institutions. We charge an initial fee for customization and then a yearly SaaS fee, which is based on the size of our client. We're a very good team because we are mixing people who have experience in banking and microfinance with other people bring the IT expertise. So as a result, we can retranslate the needs of our clients into working products. Right now, we really want to speed up our expansion. So we are raising money, and I hope Cocoon will help us here. We are raising money for 3 purposes. One is the product development, basically the upscaling strategy that I have explained, and also the credibility expenses that are required for this upscaling strategy. And the other purpose is, of course, sales and marketing. So thank you very much again for giving us this chance. And you are welcome to contact us via Cocoon if you are interested. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexis. Let's pass the time to our investor panel.
Thank you, Alexis. Congratulations on the traction so far. 15 customers and 800K. That's really exciting. Can you maybe tell us one example of your customers? What has been the use case? How was it onboarding them? And how are they doing in terms of subscription revenue or fee-based revenue? How does all that work?
Yes, so I mean, I can give 2 quick examples. One of them is a traditional microfinance institution in Jordan, which wanted to digitize their operation without changing their core banking system. So those ones, they approach us telling us, we knew them from before actually, that they need something to digitize one process, which is the onboarding. So we deployed quite quickly our tablet application to just basically allow them to do onboarding, appraisal, and then connect to the main CBS, and that's it. And this type of selling process for transformation takes about 6 months. Other client, the digital lender in Thailand, they are a completely startup company. They wanted to start from scratch and they wanted the platform. So then it's easier for those type of plans to sell our core banking system because they have nothing. And the core banking system sales process takes typically 6 months to 1 year. It's a bit longer because of course it's a main system. And in terms of revenue, so I mean, it's based on the size of the main basically trigger is a loan portfolio of the institutions, which is the main proxy for the annual fee we charge. And for those who use those digital transformation solution, it's more like the disbursement, so the loan disbursement. So that's how we grow also together with our clients. Erica, I think you are muted, sorry.
Sorry. You mentioned that your customers are microfinance platform. And so how do they gather data about their customers? And how do they input that data into your platform?
So it depends, but usually it's still quite traditional in this industry. So mostly it's basically paper information. They take copies of IDs, they do a kind of appraisal of the client in terms of income, etc. We work in some countries that are more digitized, but most of the market in Africa and in Southeast Asia is not yet digitized in a way that it's basically still partly manual in terms of collecting the data and basically doing the appraisal to know if a client is basically suitable. But that doesn't matter because if we have a feed or some way for us to assess the credit information by, for instance, let's say an online platform where the client, the borrower is trying to sell, we can easily plug that information to OpenCBS thanks to our open APIs. But right now, as of today, most of the input and most of the collection of information is manual for the clients that we have right now.
Got it. Thank you, Alexis. I'm going to turn it over to Roland.
Hey, Alexis, thank you for that. Great presentation. Hi. So just to clarify in my head, you're building the infrastructure as a service for all these microfinancing companies in developing countries. Kind of tagging on to what you and Erica were discussing about the quality or the quality of those customers. So far, has there been any issues with you supporting any of these microfinancing that there's a huge default rate? It's just not working out very well for them. And how do you make sure that your clients are successful and so therefore continue to subscribe for your services?
Okay, it's not so much about default. I mean, basically we are providing the infrastructure. So the way they have procedures is basically you can just improve them, help them to improve their procedures and go faster with technology, I think. So we don't intervene on the procedures themselves, but we can intervene on the speed of the processes, which is of course helpful. We have clients that are quite weak, and to tell the truth, because our clients are quite small in the microfinance industry, sometimes they don't have good project management. Sometimes we need to help them in the project implementation. And I would say our success in delivering to the small clients has been basically, we have our team in Kyrgyzstan. I have the Hong Kong residency, but we have our team in Kyrgyzstan in Central Asia, and we can also help them with project delivery at a quite reasonable cost in order to help them to transition to our systems. And it's been quite key because we have good clients like banks, etc., but the smaller clients, they need help for delivery, for implementation, for support. And we can do that because we have a very good team in Kyrgyzstan to support and to spend time if needed, because the time, of course, is also a cost in terms of support. And finally, we've tried to design the application and the solution in a way which is very, very simple to use, even for people who are not very qualified, which has served us well in microfinance, but which is also serving us well on the fintech market, because some people approach us and we really like you because it's very easy to use our software, so we want to use OpenCBS. So simplicity, project delivery, which is very personalized and I would say, close to the client. And the last one is cloud agnosticity. We adapt to local markets by actually being able to deploy our solutions on various cloud providers. But I don't want to speak too much because I'm already out of time, I think.
Well, my final question is, how do you pick and choose or prioritize these developing markets? You seem to be quite spread. There are many developing nations out there. How do you pick and prioritize?
It's a good question. Right now, most of those clients came from the website, and we just took them because they came to a website and they wanted a product. So basically, we serve people who came to us, just to be clear. And right now, we are kind of capital constrained, so we don't really have a kind of go-to-market strategy under which we can target some specific market. But in terms of what we see as having great potential for growth for the future, we see French-speaking Africa, English-speaking Africa, so maybe two small offices that later would help us to expand to those two regions, Southeast Asia and the Middle East. I mean, Arabic-speaking countries like Egypt, Lebanon, and a few countries which have a great potential. Basically, wherever there are financially excluded people, we think there is a good market for us. So in the longer term, we would, after this fundraising event, like 2 to 3 years down the line, open some very small offices in those countries to basically acquire clients and support clients in those local markets that we see as very interesting for us.
Thank you, Alexis. Thank you for your presentation.
So we have a question from the audience.
All right.
So the question is, interesting idea, but how about the legislation? Is it already authorized by the government? How about hacker attacks? How is your security system?
It's a good question. Ourselves, we are not regulated, but all our clients are regulated. So of course they have to comply with regulations. One of them is one of the aspects is regulatory reporting. This is the easiest for us because we just develop, when we move to a new country, the regulatory reports that are needed to the local central bank. So that's kind of easy to comply with. The other one is a bit more tricky. It's what I call the cloud agnosticity. It's not allowed in all markets to host data outside the country, and our main partner is Amazon Web Services right now. So we are now moving on providing cloud agnosticity, which is to be able to provide the software with the same level of SLAs and quality and availability in different markets by deploying on various cloud providers, or sometimes also on local cloud providers in those markets. That's something we have not achieved it yet, but that's something which is key in basically going to markets where SaaS is not completely yet mature, and there are some local regulations that prevent us from going with our existing partner, which is Amazon Web Services. But very good question, yes. So we are not regulated, but our clients are regulated, so we have stuff to do around regulations.
Thank you, Alexis.
Thank you.
唔該晒，最後咧一個隊伍咧係 Circle。Circle 係一款用於 TikTok 嘅社交學習移動應用程序，教師咧可以用佢讓學生咧上載啲短片作為功課，同埋咧有朋輩學習嘅。
Circle is a social learning mobile app similar to TikTok, but for education. Teachers use it for students to upload videos as homework and peer-to-peer learning.
Hi, so I can start?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to share my screen.
Okay.
Hi, everyone.
so-
I'm Daniel. Okay, hi, everyone. I'm Daniel. I'm the founder of Sockle. We are a Singapore-based company, and we recently incorporated in Hong Kong because of the significant business that we have over there. So as described, I'm like TikTok, but for education and private, and we provide learning analytics as well. So number one, we focus on video assessments. So video homework, essentially. So this is focusing on the part whereby students are generating content and not teachers. And if you're one of those people who like to go the next big thing for education, the 21st century learning, we focus on formative assessments, so not exam-based. We try to do this every week, updates, and then the teacher can kind of can pick the diamond in a way, or polish the diamond of a student. I mean, in a way, it's like a diary, a check-in, or portfolio's. Is there a market? If you look online and try and search a market size, you won't really find this a lot, but we might be in the LMS, the learning management system kind of world, or Kahoot in a way. So one example, this is Paulina in Lingnan University. She's a professor in science doing waste management. So before this, she was getting students to write essays, and it's very hard to track. It's really boring for the students, and it's very individual basis. So now students are uploading videos of their homework and tracking on Sockle. So students can view each other's videos and get new ideas and co-create solutions together. And the teacher can track everything on a dashboard. So we're in this in-between formal, informal world, and we are in a way kind of in between Facebook and LinkedIn as well. That was our original goal. And student-generated content, social media style, and with feedback. So our ultimate problem is existing tools that the teacher wants to use for tracking, doing weekly updates, especially with videos, it's terrible. And it's very hard to do peer-to-peer engagement. Existing tools like Facebook has been shown in studies to be quite poor in participation, getting participation from students. And this need for new learning methods to boost 21st century learning, whereby peer-to-peer engagement is important. It's very hard to achieve without a better way of doing it through technology. So most of our users are in language, science, business, and I can show you in a bit how that works. So we have a web-based app. You can see here there's language, science, geography in a few different places. And this is a video of, as you can see, students will be able to swipe up to see videos, and they can like a post, they can add comments, and in a way they can track their videos and content in their app as well as a form of like an e-portfolio. So this is the way whereby they can track and see comments. So it's private, it's asynchronous, so it's purely homework based. It's not about live streaming. It's peer-to-peer, pictures, videos, PDF, up to 10 minutes of videos that students can upload. So it's not exactly as short as TikTok, and it provides a way for the teacher to give private feedback. And lastly, web analytics, we tell the teacher which videos or which students are watching the most videos of their friends. So Hong Kong, Singapore, Indonesia, Malaysia, Thailand, we do science, we do economics, we have language practice. Most of our users are on language, like role play on the bottom left. You can see some pictures over there. The school pays subscription. At this point of time, our business model goes into research. So we are trying to prove that there's a learning benefit to the students by doing video-based learning. Our key markets are Hong Kong and Thailand because they have the biggest funding for research, and Singapore as well, which is a bit long, medium term. So we have about 2,000 students every semester. Think of it as students in a school, like a small university, as opposed to e-commerce where people are buying products whereby it might be 20,000, 30,000, right? So our next goal is to complete academic papers so that we can prove to our users and future users, professors, or research projects that there's a big percentage of improvement. Recommendation engines is where we are going next. We're trying to recommend to the teacher which students that they should focus on so that they don't get left out based on their engagement. Our latest studies, we have this 8 to 12% improvement in grades. We're trying to get that published in the paper right now. Students have reported that they're more motivated and engaged because they watch their friends' content and they get an idea of where they need to do, what they need to do, and they're inspired, which is cool. I'm a solo founder at JP Morgan, more than 10 years of experience. I can develop as well, so I have both business and tech skills, lucky for me. I have an extended team, so these are my users around Asia, in Thailand and Hong Kong, and they help us to apply for grants within their own institutions or to get credits from Google, for example. And I'm looking for professors, lecturers who are willing to collaborate with us, specifically to do research and join us in our studies. So again, Daniel, this is my email. If anyone is interested to contact and collaborate with me, feel free to reach out to me, and I'm happy to listen to any questions. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Daniel. Let's pass the time to Erica and Roland.
Hey, Daniel. Very exciting. I totally am behind this initiative. I think this is where learning is going, and this is what assessments will look like. I'm curious in terms of your understanding of the competitive landscape. Do you know who else is out there doing this, and how are they doing? Because I think, you know, in addition to writing the paper, you can leverage some of their data to make your point to teachers as you're trying to convert more institutions to use your platform.
Yeah. So my number one competitor in a way or comparison would be Flipgrid in the US. So they have a similar way where they can upload videos, but they don't give the same level of analytics. They're not really built for feedback management. So they're not as really so much for assessments. They are more like Kahoot. You do a game once, you play and finish. So there are papers, as you mentioned, that looks at that, but we are going maybe a bit higher. We're going for like the higher tier papers. We're trying to get linear regressions done to prove, because to get the percentage, we need to do quite a bit more of testing, and that's why we have our professors that we're working with. So I find specifically professors who are researching in that domain. We have looked up some other papers in Flipgrid, for example, or even Facebook, and that's where we take content from them to say that this is what we're doing differently.
Got it. And could you tell me a little bit more about your personal background? I'm trying to understand sort of your academia focus.
Oh, my background is tech. So I started with a programming background for 2 years, and I joined the bank for about 10 years. So in JP and in Stanchart. So I worked in Hong Kong for a few years as a project manager. So I was managing teams around Asia. And then I felt that I could do way more with my life. And I left that to create this startup.
I'm looking at Flipgrid now. It was acquired by Microsoft after its Series A. So there is definitely a market here. And, you know, it's clear that this is what students want. So the question is how to get into schools. So I'm going to turn this over to Roland now.
Thank you.
Great. Thank you, Daniel, for the presentation. We've had experience in this space, more US-centric video learning. So certainly, you know, what you're presenting here in terms of value proposition, we certainly recognize. And so with that kind of context, you know, from our experience in looking at this space, can you comment a bit on two things? One is interactions. So beyond just commenting, likes, and shares, given that this is educational content, there might be some feedback questions, so on and so forth. How are you thinking about interactions? So beyond just the usual social media one. And of course, secondly, will be about quality control, you know, misinformation or inaccuracies, so on and so forth. Can you comment on both of those?
Thank you so much. So it's driven, so the content on the app is driven by the lecturers and the professors. So I have very little part to play in terms of nudging or pushing. I mean, we do in later on when the content is driven. So the lecturer and professor is the one who's in charge of coming up with what kind of content and also providing that feedback, as you mentioned, the quality control. So we have tried in the beginning, one of our professors in Lingnan actually tried it out and then said, any questions, if you have any questions, post it on Sockle. If you want to say something, post it on Sockle, and then students posted nothing because they don't want to post anything. So the rubrics has to be very clear. The guidance by the teacher has to be very clear, and it has to match their assessments. So we are trying to literally go down to that micro level, understanding what is their syllabus, how can we improve the way that they're teaching. So literally, like I sit down with the lecturer and we go, okay, you're teaching engineering, what are you doing today? How can we make your practicals better? Can we help the students to record their experiments on the lab, for example, and then share with their friends? And how can we then calculate to go by watching my friends' videos, there's a certain percentage of improvement. So the interactions as well, we will send notifications to the students, and we are building up recommendations as well. But it's up to how the teacher wants to engage. And if they're doing peer-to-peer engagements, the teacher has to make sure that the instructions and the rubrics is clear, the guidelines is clear, and they also have to teach the students how to give feedback and inquiry.
Got it. I have one final comment on that. That all makes sense. Initially, I thought it was the students creating content, but it's professors. So I understand the QC part. My final comment is it's also worth thinking about the interactions among students. So I myself, I remember back in law school, a lot of our studying beyond just interacting with a professor was figuring out stuff between ourselves. And by the way, the company that we looked at previously also focused a lot on that type of interaction. So it was both two ways, professor to student and students among students. And there'll be some pretty interesting learning data that could come out of that. So maybe we could follow up later on and love to learn more about, are those in your development plans in the near future?
Sounds great. Thank you so much. Thanks for the opportunity, everyone.
Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you, Daniel. So we've got 2 questions from the audience. The first one is, so live feedback from students may increase engagement on classes. What's the rationale of not doing live streaming classes? The second question is, for the teachers, they're not usually familiar with online format and the curriculum is not adapted to online version. So how do you think to help teachers to deliver better classes?
Okay, why not live streaming? Because the teachers are already using Zoom and Google Meets, and I do not want to compete with them. That's kind of number one. Number two, the curriculum is just, or systems or curriculum is very hard for teachers to adapt. Agree. So I try to find teachers who are already using videos in the classrooms. And so when I reach out to students and teachers, usually the way that I reach out to find professors and lecturers, I'll find their students. So I reach out to students first and I ask them, hey, do you have teachers who are asking you to upload videos today? And they'll go, no, then I'll move on to the next student. If they say, yes, I have teachers who ask me to do videos today and upload it on YouTube, for example, then I'll go, hey, can you introduce that teacher to me? So we find the teachers and professors who are interested in this space or doing it already, then we target those. And then hopefully, then they will refer to their friends and go, hey, this is what you can use. So we try to do the organic way of finding our target audience.
Thank you, Daniel, and thank you, Erica and Roland. So
thank you.
It's now time to vote for your favorite pitch teams. You should see a pop-up window now, so you can click to vote for your favorite team. Our next round pitch is open for application. If you want to pitch at the stage, so send us your deck at pitch@hkcocoon.org.
多謝大家嘅參與。如果你都想展示你嘅創業理念，就快啲報名我哋嘅 pitch 啦。我哋咧亦都好歡迎大家而家喺我哋嘅虛擬辦公室同我哋嘅 pitch team 同埋其他觀眾有交流嘅。
Now we will have our networking session. You can meet and chat with our teams and members at our Cocoon virtual office. You should see the link in the chat room right now. We'll see you there.
Bye.